Internet! Welcome back to another episode of Penelope Draws Manga. Recently, my mom decided it was a good idea to clean all of the carpets in our house, so we had to barricade off the rooms so that our dog, Mochi, wouldn't be able to get into them while the carpet was still wet. One of the pieces of furniture that we used to block off the openings were these gamer chairs that my brother got for his birthday a lot of years ago. Mochi really enjoyed sitting in these chairs, so I thought it'd be a funny idea to draw Mochi as a gamer dog, which is what I'll be doing today. So at our house, we like to say that Mochi loves violence. She couldn't sit still through any movies like While You Were Sleeping or Sleepless in Seattle or any movies like that, but she sat through Avatar pretty well. Also, she likes to watch us play video games. I figured that the video games she would like the best are probably like the most violent ones, like Dark Souls and Call of Duty and all the violent games. I might have just exposed myself. I do not play any super violent games. The only games that we have at our house are Nintendo games. So I gave Mochi a t-shirt with the Smash Brothers little logo on it. It's the most violent game we have in our house, so I figured that would be her favorite. I also made the shirt kind of big, like it might not actually be hers, like it might be my shirt or my brother's shirt or something, because, Mochi's a dog, she doesn't really have clothes. However, I did find a way to incorporate the colors that are on her collar, which are blue and pink, into her design by putting them on her shirt and on her headphones. I have never personally worn a pair of headphones while gaming, but I have a feeling that Mochi's probably a more serious gamer than I am, so I decided to give them to her. I ended up not showing it, but I drew like 3 different sketches for this picture. This is a pretty difficult pose for me to draw, and humanizing Mochi's little doggy face and features was very difficult. I did end up taking a reference photo of myself in a position something like this. I didn't have a game controller with me, but I think it turned out pretty okay. Now I'm applying a lighter color to Mochi's face. Mochi's kind of a soft, yellowy caramel color, but she's not exactly the same color all over her entire body. So I made her face a little bit lighter, and I made her ears a little bit darker, and she also has this one funny white spot on her tail. She didn't used to have it back when we first got her as a little tiny puppy, but now she has this white spot, and it's very funny and surprising. Once again, I didn't really show this at all, but it took me like 3 or 4 tries to draw her mouth right. I kept trying to draw her mouth with the tongue hanging out like good dogs do, but it just kept not looking right, so I eventually scrapped the idea for a more human mouth. I hope it looks alright. Another thing I had to rework a bunch of times was the chair. Initially I drew it about the same size as it would be if me or my brothers were sitting in it, but then I realized Mochi's not very big, so the chair would be a lot bigger in comparison to her, so I had to fix it a bunch of times. Oh, and you probably noticed, but everything got really, really dark all of a sudden. That's not a problem with your device or whatever you're using to watch this video. I just put a multiply layer on top of it because I wanted to be able to show the light of the screen. She's in the dark playing games probably late at night, so I needed to have a dark base to put the bright highlights on. It helps make them stand out, I really had a great time drawing her fluffy fur. It took me a while to figure out exactly how I wanted to do it, because, I wanted to portray the softness of it. Eventually, I ended up going with a new technique that I kind of stumbled upon while I was drawing my YouTube icon. I used it for the hair in that picture. So for a lot of years before I figured out this new technique, I would always try to use the soft-edged brush whenever I wanted to smudge something. But recently, when I drew my YouTube icon not long ago, I realized that I could use Procreate's default studio brush. I actually really like this brush a lot, and I use it whenever I have to fill in areas. I think I mentioned this in my previous video, but since I don't use hard-edged line art, I can't use the bucket fill-in tool, so I have to go in and color everything like a coloring book. And my favorite brush to use is just the default studio pen. And for this use, I think it turned out pretty nicely. I love her eyebrows, they look so soft and curly. I think they turned out very well. Adding the highlight was much like adding the shadows, although it did take me a little bit longer to figure out the right light intensity. But once I did, I think it made the picture look a lot more dynamic. I really love how it turned out.
She just looks kind of soft and squishy.
I'm realizing now that this is my 4th video and I haven't even talked about how I like to shade eyes yet. I don't really like to draw in pupils, like with line art or with black. I feel like it makes the character almost look crazy. So instead, on my multiply layer, which I usually just use for shading, that's where I draw the pupil. I also like to add a highlight with add underneath my multiply layer. It just makes the eye a whole lot brighter. You also probably noticed, but I added reflections in her eyes of the Smash Brothers game that she's playing. I don't know if you could tell, but I made the characters who are playing Kirby, Link, and Mario. I would guess that she plays Kirby. I mean, he kind of looks like a dog toy. I'm guessing she's Kirby, but now looking back on it, I'm thinking I should have drawn one of them as Duck Hunt so that she could main Duck Hunt. But I don't know, I mean, I guess Kirby's good enough. Also, I know I already said it, but I had so much fun drawing her fluffy fur. It was so fun to like swirl around the paint on the canvas and like pull out the parts with the light. But you know what? I'm happy with it. It looks soft and cute and I really like it. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention this. I was super happy with how the soft shading turned out in the Spider-Man picture that I decided to try some soft shading again, and I think it turned out really good. Let me know in the comments if I should do more soft shading or if you'd like me to do the cell shading type that I did for the character concept video and for the avatar pictures. I resized the chair once again because the back of the chair and the top of her headphones were lining up, and I didn't think it looked very good, so I had to change it again. Also, the whole picture was feeling really monochrome, so I decided to add some light coming from, I guess it would probably be the kitchen in the background, and I added my mom's legs because she's probably telling Mochi she's played enough Wii for today, but Mochi's just happy playing Wii and isn't paying attention to Mom at all. And we're finished. I think she turned out pretty cute, and she still looks like herself even though she's been anthropomorphized. I hope you enjoyed watching this video as much as I enjoyed making it. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end, and I hope you will stay tuned for my next episode where my friend will be picking out Genshin Impact characters for me to draw from memory, so that'll be fun. Anyway, I hope you have a lovely day. Bye-bye!